Hey guys, so how have you guys been? How has trading been for you? Most importantly, how was the trading week? We can discuss that in the comment section. But today I'm going to make a video where I explain to you guys how my trading week has been and how my trading has been since I made my last video. Honestly, trading has been kicking me so bad. I'm not even going to lie. Trading has been very, very tough on my side. I have missed a lot of trade. I have taken some trade and I hit stop loss. And so far I have not traded my 5k account because I am this tiny little bit close to losing the account. But at the end of the day, if I lose the account, if I don't lose the account, there's really nothing I can do at this point. The most important thing is that I finally passed two phases of an account, right? Now, I want to talk a little bit about the fact that currently I am going through a psychological loop, if that is the word, because there is something at the point I felt like, oh, I finally figured out this thing. Was so excited, I was so happy, especially when I passed phase one of my account, only for me to get to a funded stage and I'm about to lose that account. This is to make me to realize that I still have a risk management problem. I am not disciplined with trading. And honestly, that is the major problem. I'm not going to sit here and say things like, "Oh, I don't really know why this is happening to me." I know what is happening. I know that it's happening because I am not managing my risks properly. Because if I was managing my risks properly, I wouldn't have lost that account. I wouldn't have so many losing trades. I did not even have a lot of losing trades, to be very honest. I think it's like three or four, but I risked too much. I have been learning on how I'm going to pass my 25k account because you guys remember I said I have a 25k account. With that account, it has been ups and downs. Ups and downs in the sense of like the first time that I traded that account, had two losing trades, and that was like minus $500. Then I went out of drawdown. Now I'm back in drawdown, and my drawdown is like I think four something or I think five something, and it's crazy. It's really crazy up how things are going for me right now. However, there are few things I want to highlight. Number one is that in order for me to become whatever I want to be, I need to be very disciplined and I also need to be very keen on how I manage risk. I have been trying to find out how I can manage my risks and how I can pass my proper account henceforth. And here is what I think I'm going to do. I have two options, to be very honest, and I'm going to be reading from this book. The first option is that at break even, I'm going to be risking 1% and aim for a 1 is to 2. That is going to be, I'm going to make 2%, right? That means for my 2000, to my 25k account that I'm having currently, if I am risking 1%, that is like $250 in order to make 500. Now, for the second trade that I'll be taking, I'll be aiming for I'll be risking 2%, that is $500 in order to make $1,500. Then I'll pass phase one of my account. That is it. That means if I follow this rule strictly, I can pass phase one with two trades. Now the problem being that I'm already at a drawdown. That is not what is going to happen. Now that I'm in drawdown, I'm going to risk 0.5% of my account in order for a 1 is to 2. Then I'm going to get out of drawdown. The moment I get out of drawdown, then I'm going to risk a 1% to make $500. Then I'm going to risk a 2%. 2% is, yeah, $500 to make 1.5. Then I'm out. I'm passing phase one. Now that is the first option. The second option is that at break even, I'm risking 1% and I'm aiming for a 1 is to 3. That is 3%. Then the second trade, I'm risking 2% and I'm aiming for a 1 is to 2.5. Um, then that is 5%. And I'm done with phase two. That is it. No, phase one, sorry. That is the second option because we need 8% to pass phase one and 5% to pass phase two, right? Now, the moment I pass phase one, I'm going to do the same thing on phase two. Now let's talk about the life account. The problem with me was that I am so money fixated and I need to take trading from a perspective of from a business perspective. I was watching a video where they were talking about the fact that trading is a long-term business, and in order for you to be a good businessman or a good businesswoman, you need to be good with managing risk. because it's not every day that you're going to make sales. It's not every day that you're going to make profit. It's not every day that some days you can buy your goods and your goods don't get to you, or they get to you, they are completely damaged. Definitely, you're going to be working at a loss. Now, I am working towards the aspect, I've noticed it a lot on my life account where I trade and I find myself looking at the perspective of, oh, I did not make money, let me catch up. That's what they call revenge trading. I revenge trade a lot on my life account. My life account, I funded $100. That is the account that I made my first $130 and I withdrew it. But currently, I am left with like $30 on that account. But I know that I can up that account again because I've done that once and I can still do it. So it's okay. Now, when it comes to the live stage, I'm going to be risking 0.5% in order to make 1 is 2, that is 1%. Then I risk again 1%, and I'm aiming another 1 is 2 or 1 is 3. Then I don't trade that account until I've made my first withdrawal. In such a way, I am going to have money. Then I'm going to be buying other prop firms account, or maybe fund a personal account. Why not? Now we need to come to the understanding, or I have come to the understanding that this is my journey when it comes to trading. Everybody's journey is not the same. My journey is not going to be that of another person, and that of another person is not going to be mine. So I have worked on on the aspect of comparison, and I'm no longer comparing my journey with that of another person. I know that this is my journey. Yes, it is taking a little bit long. When I'm even thinking of the fact that I'm saying it's taking a little bit long, I'm looking at other people who said they started making their profit in their fifth year, right? Or in their eighth year. That is not what I want for myself, but I have to be grateful because where I was like 1 year ago is not where I am right now. I have shifted a lot when it comes to trading. Now, trading is not what you guys see or we see on social media. The moment you dip deep into this thing, you come to the realization that what you see on social media is just people trying to promote something, sell something to you, or whatever. But the real trading lifestyle, the real trading, it requires you to bend your back. You're going to go through a lot. Sometimes it will make sense, other times it will not make sense. That is literally what it is, right? Because if we are looking only from the online perspective, a lot of people are not being real. That is why I decided I was going to document my journey as I go through until I become a consistently profitable trader. I am going to share every little aspect. I am not ashamed of sharing my journey with anybody. The the role or the goal for me is to only not give up, because me sharing this is another way for me not to give up. Because maybe if I don't share, maybe I'll give up, right? It's another way for me not to give up, and also it's another way to encourage upcoming traders or people who want to learn how to trade to put in the back of their mind that it might not work in 1 year, it might not work in 2 years, it might not work in 3 years, it might still work in 1 year or even 6 months. I've seen somebody who said she became profitable after 6 months of learning. So it's possible. Everybody is not the same. Let's not just look at the perspective that we see online. It is not always like that. So right now I'm going to take you guys to the chart and I'm going to show you the different trades that I took this week and how it went. First things first, let me talk about the fact that I took 2 trades this week. Honestly, I was seeing 3. I saw more than 3 even, but the last trade I didn't enter it and it's in profit. But the 2 other trades that I took hit me out on stop loss. And I over risked on one of those trades. So let's get right to the chart and I'm going to show you how and why I was taking this trade. Let's go. Currently we're on the chart and I traded Euro USD for this week. And as per my strategy, it is always like marking out the 5 a.m. high and the 5 a.m. low. And that is literally what happened, right? You see, if you look very well, this was a very beautiful trade. However, the market did whatever I wanted to do. Now, there are a few reasons why I feel like this market did not go to my direction. Let me start. You see that here I have marked the high of the 5 p.m. and the low, right? It was showing that we had this break of structure here. So definitely price was going to navigate into this fair value gap, which was my point of interest, or should I say, um I've forgotten how ICT called this thing, but I was looking at this fair value gap, right? Now I had this liquidity sweep that I marked here, You see that I had this liquidity sweep, I had this change of character, then I had this fair value gap. So what I would have done was to enter here and set my stop loss somewhere up here. But that is not what I did. I entered here and I set my stop loss here. Price tapped me in initially, then it started going down. However, it tapped me out and it went straight to TP. That was a good 1:4. So imagine if I was risking 1% here in order to make four, that would have been $1,000. But it's okay. Now let's go to the second trade, which was this trade right here, right? To be very honest, okay, I marked out the 5 a.m., 5 p.m. high and the 5 p.m. low. There I was trading the 1 a.m. time frame, the 1 a.m. New York time. So I wanted to see like a break of structure then, but unfortunately, I failed to realize that this market was actually bearish. Now, if we go to the 4 hours candlestick, to the 4 hours time frame, sorry, we are going to see exactly why this did not work out. What do I see here? Let's start with this is my 5 p.m. This is my 9 p.m., right? So this is my 5 a.m. Here is a fair value gap. We had this large fair value gap from here up to here. So this was a fair value gap. So what I was expecting was that normally I should have been looking out to sell and not to buy. Even if I wanted to look out for a buy, it should have been a very short buy. Because if we go to the 5 minute time frame and we go back there, we are going to see that there was really no reason for me to buy in this market because I need to see a liquidity sweep, then a change of character before I enter a buy. Now, when we look very well, this is a liquidity sweep here, but there is no change of character. Price change character somewhere here. So my entry should have been somewhere here, right? Then stop loss there. Then I am targeting here for a 1:2. Do you see? So if I was targeting a 1:2 properly, liquidity sweep, change of character, like this is, let me mark the change of character so it's well seen. This would have been my change of character right here, right? This is a change of character here. This is a liquidity sweep here. So I would have entered here and targeting a 1:2. Then I would have made my 1:2, and that was going to be it for that day. But that is not what actually happened. Now let's talk about the trade that I saw and I did not take, and currently it is moving in my direction. This is the trade. Now price came to my point of interest, which is fair value gap. It created a liquidity sweep, change of character. This is my change of character, liquidity sweep, change of character. Then I would have entered somewhere here targeting to the upside, but I didn't take this trade. I don't know if this is the trade. Yeah, this is the trade. That's 1:3. I didn't take this trade, but I'm very sure that this trade still has a very long way to go when it comes to the buy side, right? We still have to buy to somewhere here. I am thinking of entering here again, then targeting this upside to this liquidity, this sell side liquidity here. So that is about so guys, that is about it for the trades that I took this week, and we are still on this journey, and I'm very sure that with time it really gets better, because I have come from this space of I wanted to trade every day to some days when I don't trade I'm fine, some days I don't look at the market and it's fine, some days I just look at the market, I see some trades and I don't take them. That is still trading. The ability to hold yourself back from not taking trades, it's also trading. So yes, that is it for this week, and I'm definitely going to see you next week for another video. Bye.